Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking live at the Gary South Shore Railcat Stadium in Gary, Indiana. It's time for Elite Fight Night. Blake Chadwick alongside James Gray. 18 big fights on hand. The amateurs, the pros. It's going to be a great mixture of disciplines here tonight in Gary.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible night of fights. You have all levels of mixed martial artists stepping in the cage this evening. You have amateurs making their debut, and you have highly skilled veterans of mixed martial arts. Some people that have dedicated their entire lives to this sport.
As we will see the flyweight amateur title on the line. Celso Silva, Jonathan Little Dirty Johnson. This fight is supposed to go down a year ago. A lot of drama added in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, we got some controversy. These two were supposed to fight a year ago, and tonight, Celso Silva will be ineligible to fight for the title because he missed weight by 3.5 pounds. Jonathan said, doesn't matter to me, we are stepping in that cage and settling it this evening.
They're gonna run it back here tonight. Will Celso Silva play the spoiler or a little dirty? Get the flyweight title around his waist. We will certainly find out coming up in just a little while. Stay tuned, don't you go anywhere. Steel City Showdown 3, it's coming up next.
Next, in the cage, making her way down the aisle, out of the El Popo red corner, Stephanie Canfield.
The first time she has fought in 4 years as she returns here, as she's going to be a part of the Elite Fight Night at Gary South Shore Railcat Stadium, as she will take on Mackenzie Stiller. But Stephanie Canfield, she's jacked to get back in that cage.
Yeah, even though she's only 3-2 in her early amateur career, she told me she's been in MMA for 12 years in the interview yesterday. She said, I've been training the sport for 12 years. I haven't really got to show all my skill set yet. I am comfortable everywhere, and I cannot wait to show the world.
And again, James, as you were discussing a few minutes ago, just because you don't take a fight does not mean you're not accumulating experience. Several hours inside that lab, as you said, she's ready to go. And interestingly enough, all 3 of her wins by unanimous decision. So when she gets the victory, it's pretty decisive.
Yeah, she's here to make a statement. She told me that yesterday. She said, I have to show my skills in this fight. I cannot allow my opponent to implement their game plan. I need to show my skills. And she comes from a camp that has other professional females, so she's training regularly with girls that can push her. Hopefully we're going to see that tonight in Stephanie's bout.
So we will see what Stephanie Canfield does in her return to the cage here, her 6th trip inside, as she will get check for that final time here. And again, Mackenzie Stiller, a lot less experience, but again, having fought back in March, she's been in there more recently than Stephanie.
Yeah, 100%, and she's highly credentialed. I'll talk about it after Raj does the introduction.
Her opponent, about to make her way to the cage out of the El Nacimiento blue corner, Mackenzie Mac Judo Stiller.
And Mackenzie Stiller 1-0, coming to us from the One Touch Fight Academy. She won her debut back in March via rear naked choke. She's going to look to finish off Canfield tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, so Mackenzie is only 22 years of age, and I asked her credentials. She told me I am a black belt in judo, I wrestled in high school, I was a girls state champ, and I have a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I went, how in the world is this girl only 1-0? It's only because she's 22 years of age. She is a monster on paper, on credentials.
And let's take a look at her El Nacimiento handcrafted tequila tail of the tape. A 5-inch height advantage, and of course, a little bit of an experience advantage for Stephanie Canfield, but the momentum appears to be riding with Mac Judo, Mackenzie Stiller. We'll see how it all plays out here. I do believe this one could go either direction, as again, Stephanie Canfield trying to get back in there. She could be like riding a bike, just getting right back in the cage, and Mackenzie Stiller looking to build on what she put together about 3 months ago.
100%. Even though she only has one bout in the cage, look at the black belt that is tattooed on her arm. She comes from a wealth of experience. She is ready for this fight in any area, and she's already been in high-pressure situations, state titles, and things like this.
And we talked about a couple of our fighters earlier tonight on the card, some of these amateurs dedicating their entire lives to the discipline. Clearly, Mackenzie Stiller, this is her life, this is her career, and it's just getting started.
Oh yeah, she wants to be a fighter, and when you want it more than anything else, that's the road to greatness.
This flyweight match is brought to you by Modelo. Introducing first, fighting out of the El Popo red corner, weighing in at 125.3 pounds from Hybrid Athletics, with a record of 3-2, from Hebron, Indiana, Stephanie Canfield.
Once again, a huge ovation for the Indiana native.
And her opponent, fighting out of the El Nacimiento blue corner, weighing in at 125 pounds, representing One Touch Fight Team, with a record of 1-0, from Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, Mackenzie Mac Judo Stiller.
We'll see if the judo can work for Mackenzie Stiller here tonight. Seen a little bit of judo on display thus far here at Steel City Showdown 3. Our first female bout of the night in the flyweight division, as we've got a big bantamweight clash coming up in just a short while between Nahia Porter and Ribeiro. But let's see, Stephanie Canfield and Mackenzie Stiller take it to each other right here. And look at the movement there, Mackenzie Stiller.
Mackenzie has power. You can tell right off the bat that she is throwing. Oh, and there's the judo.
The judo throw.
Beautiful hip toss.
Textbook judo throw by Mackenzie Stiller, right into side control here. And Stephanie Canfield, welcome back to the cage.
And right into that case Gatami position, which is a judo favorite. She's going to trap the arm. She's going to look to do damage or get the tap. She's able to finish with a straight arm lock.
And just like that, in less than 30 seconds, that is a wrap. And Mackenzie Stiller, a fine judo display, and unfortunately, it looks like Stephanie Canfield may have suffered an injury there, possible hyperextension. But Mackenzie Stiller moves to 2-0, and Mac Judo putting her name on the map, putting her stamp right here on Elite Fight Night.
Man, that was beautiful. I mean, you can see that she is a high-level judoka. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. She executed. She hit a beautiful hip toss. She went to the Gatami position. She went straight after that arm lock and finished. And with confidence, she knew she was going to get this fight.
And Mac Judo stuck to her game plan, a big-time judo throw, wonderful hip toss, and then put her right in position for the submission.
Mac Judo is no joke, ladies and gentlemen.
No, she is not. That is your clubhouse leader for performance of the night thus far, as that is some high-level judo on display by Mac Judo herself, Mackenzie Stiller.
It looked like she was teaching a tutorial. This is what a hip toss into the finish looks like.
Presenting your winner at 29 seconds in the first round by verbal submission to the inverted Americana, Mackenzie Mac Judo Stiller.
So once again, a highlight reel victory for Mackenzie Stiller, and she does it all the right way. We'll be back with more Elite MMA action after the break.
Introducing first, fighting out of the El Popo red corner, weighing in at 124.1 pounds, representing Intercept with a record of 1-1. From Chicago, Illinois, Marco McDonald.
He's got a lot of love here.
His opponent, fighting out of the El Nacimiento blue corner, weighing in at 126.5 pounds, representing MCS with a record of 1-3. From St. Louis, Missouri, Jerry Steps the Third.
Marco looks dialed in. I mean, already he is staring him down. He is pacing back and forth. He looks dialed in.
And Steps does look pretty ready for someone who has not been in there in quite some time. Does look pretty game. Oh, and McDonald catches him with an overhand right, and that could disrupt the flow of Steps right out of the gate.
And instantly you see that wrestling coming out. Marco landed a beautiful right hand, and Jerry says, you know what? We're going to take this fight to the mat. He's in on his clinch. He's got his underhook. He needs to win the head position now. He needs to go back to the basics of his wrestling.
McDonald here trying to create some more separation, maybe so we can get some strikes back in. As again, Steps would love to just keep him pressed against the cage for 3 minutes. Nice job by McDonald to reverse course and put Steps back in there.
And even though they look very close in size, a lot of times wrestlers have this certain strength, this grappling strength, that is very deceptive to their build.
Well, Steps' muscle looks a little bit more dense than Marco McDonald, so he certainly should have the ability, if he takes him down, maybe to ride him for a little bit. And let's see here, Steps trying to cinch in a takedown as McDonald now throwing some shots in there and trying once again to disrupt the flow of Steps with the strikes.
He's controlling him out of the cage, and you know what? This could be shaking off the ring rust. This could be getting comfortable in there, and then we might see him start to open up. This is good strikes out of Marco, though. He's building good frames. He's landing the knees.
Marco McDonald doing a nice job again, mixing it up. Facing a little bit of adversity right here. Now presses Steps against the cage. And McDonald here trying to trip him up.
He goes for a lateral, big lateral attempt.
Down, and a nice job to sprawl out by McDonald, playing defense right there, and now going to grab the back of Steps. And you can see where the wrestling kind of kicking in for Steps, not really factoring in the back. And now McDonald could have took to take full advantage, rolls all the way through, tries to hold position here.
Yeah, that could be a huge mistake, and that might be the time off. I mean, you just can't give up your back like that to someone that's as dangerous as Marco. Now, luckily, he was able to shake him, but Marco's right back on the
Trying
neck.
to dig those hooks in. Nice job by Steps to evade it. But again, McDonald staying very active on the attack.
It's interesting to see this. Marco is bringing the wrestling and the grappling engagement to Steps. I was expecting him to look to break off and do some damage here.
As Steps continues to try to play the stand-up game now. McDonald being a little bit more active right now, but Steps trying to just control McDonald against the cage, not having a lot of success, as McDonald's going to reverse him now.
Yeah, Marco's being more active, and that is going to add up to the judges. The judges are going to see he's the one throwing the knees, he's the one throwing the strikes, he's the one chopping at the legs. I really think that we might see Steps just trying to get comfortable in there.
Indeed, trying to tie him up, get his feet back underneath him, if you will. The proverbial sea legs, as right now, Jerry Steps needs to be a little bit more active on the offensive end as he keeps McDonald against the cage. You see McDonald once again going to turn Steps back, and you see McDonald going for that trip again.
A lot of times what people don't realize is when you classify someone as a wrestler, in wrestling you are not ever pinned up against the wall. Wall work is a completely different element. Although there are aspects of wrestling, it is a different world. So you can see Marco is actually winning these wall work exchanges.
Excellent point there, as the takedown unable to go yet again, as that will bring us to the end of the first round. Marco McDonald doesn't seem too thrilled with it. If you're Jerry Steps, you have to be very pleased with how the first 3 minutes went.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you are slightly the underdog in this fight. You are coming off a massive layout. You started to find your comfort in there. There was no major successes for your opponent. You were in a little bit of danger. You worked your way out, and you can see the frustration in Marco on that as, hey, I should be able to capitalize in those moments.
And James, if you're Marco McDonald, you come out, your game plan, you start throwing strikes. They're effective right out of the gate, but Jerry Steps is able to slow things down, try to use the wall work, try to utilize his wrestling. If you're Marco McDonald, how do you shift gears back to your game plan as we head into round 2?
A lot of the times we tell fighters they should have a little bit of amnesia. You need to be able to write off a bad round. You need to forget about the round. You need to come out like it's round 1.
That's an excellent point there, James, because you look at the situation here, the fight's still going on. One round is in the books, but there was no finish. Plenty of work left to be done. Not a clean slate, but still plenty of opportunities to capitalize and take advantage here. And if you're Marco McDonald, go back to what got you to the dance to begin with. And if he can hit some of those strikes and connect with some of the shots, I do believe we could see a difference.
Absolutely.
So the second 3 minutes of action started, and once again you see McDonald with a strike right out of the gate. Throws a nice jab.
It looks like they both agreed to stand and bang a little bit here. Hey, the wrestling didn't really get us anywhere. We're going to throw, and they are coming out throwing.
And Steps was not expecting him necessarily to throw hands like this. As you see, McDonald trying to tie him up now.
So now we have McDonald pressing for the takedown.
I don't think Marco McDonald liked some of those strikes he felt from Jerry Steps.
Or a lot of the times you can get in someone's head if you beat them at their own game. If this guy's the wrestler and you secure the takedown, that starts to beat them at their own game. He has the full mount position now.
Excellent takedown by Marco McDonald, and if he can free that right arm, we could be looking at some ground and pound. Free shots could rain down on Jerry Steps. Nice job by Steps to reverse. Now he has mount position.
Great
and
job by
look how
Steps.
Quickly McDonald gets back to his feet. Excellent job to get back to the stand-up.
There's actually some really good body work here by Steps. Not even just the shots to the head. He's going to the body well.
Indeed, nice exchanges by Steps, mixing him in there.
I think a little bit of frustration is weighing on Marco. I really do. I think that normally he keeps that mount and he starts to do some damage, but there's a little bit of frustration in his game. He needs to shake that and get right back to action.
You saw McDonald getting frustrated at the end of round number 1 and appears to have bled in here to round number 2, as Jerry Steps has really done a great job of taking Marco McDonald out of his full game plan.
Good knees to the body from both competitors.
Indeed, and that's something you'd probably expect a little bit more from McDonald, but Jerry Steps mixing in the disciplines very nicely and kind of throwing McDonald off as the wrestler with the takedown again. And Steps now trying to turn him over.
Like I said, it's a dangerous game. It is a dangerous game to try to beat someone at their strength, and that is exactly what Marco's trying to do. I respect the fact that he is trying to beat the wrestler at his game, but a lot of the times you can get caught in their world by doing so.
As McDonald and Steps tied up here against the cage. 1 minute to go in round number 2. As you see McDonald trying to take him down yet again. Steps doing a nice job to remain at a vertical base.
Marco's kind of trying to force it right here, whereas like he should be winning the underhooks, he should be winning the head position, he shouldn't give away being turned that easily, but a little bit of it is like, why is my game plan not working?
He's too worried about the big picture. He could be working on some of that small stuff that you've talked about earlier on tonight, James, and that could really factor in some of the judges' scores. If he's working on the small stuff, that could really close the gap in terms of the scoring.
One of the things I try to tell my fighters is like win 15-second intervals. Don't think about the massive picture. Think about winning the 15-second interval, because if you add up all those wins, it yields the best result.
That's an excellent point right there, as Jerry Steps right now doing a nice job to sprawl out and prevent a takedown as we're closing in on the final 10 seconds here of round number 2. And Steps going to turn around.
He's in on an armbar here. If he turns his hips and now hips in, he's in on a legitimate armbar attack.
Can he flatten that arm out here as Marco McDonald trying to hold position until that bell?
Marco's doing the right thing. Oh, that was beautiful.
Saved by the bell as Steps was about to turn around. And if you take a look at Marco McDonald's face right there, he realizes he just averted disaster. And again, if you're Marco McDonald, essentially the performance you were not really expecting to have, how do you recover and leave it all out there in round 3?
You got to know that, hey, it didn't go my way in these first 2 rounds, but I still have these 3 minutes to prove that I'm the one that's going to earn this victory.
As the fans continue to pack in here to the Gary South Shore Railcat Stadium, as we're moving right along the card here through the amateur ranks all the way to the professionals coming up a little bit later on. Final round here, Jerry Steps, last-minute replacement for Roger Serrano, looking to pull off the upset here against Marco McDonald. Steps' first fight in 7 years, has nothing to lose, and he is in control right now. But McDonald, a nice takedown on the wrestler. That's the second time we've seen that tonight.
And it's the first time he's been able to settle him. Almost every other time, right when he got the takedown, Jerry was up and out. But now the fact that he has the top position and he can implement his game plan, we'll see if Marco can work his way towards a finish.
And James, with Steps having that 7-year layoff here in round number 3, how much do you think the fatigue's setting in?
I mean, you would think, but honestly, he looks pretty good. He looks composed. He's not breathing that hard. Marco's working, very effectively and very hard, but Jerry is weathering it well.
McDonald trying to remain active right here as Steps back up to a stand-up position. Has McDonald against the cage. Under 2 minutes to go here in this final round.
Yeah, if you read the body language and the demeanor, Marco is frustrated. He's got to get out of his own head. And Jerry is just fighting to win. He's like, I'm coming off a 7-year layoff. I'm fighting to win here.
Another takedown by Steps. McDonald quickly pops up, but Steps has the back here. And Steps trying to turn him around. We almost saw him get a Juji Gatami before. Let's see if he can try to lock in this rear naked.
Yep, Steps never put his hooks in there, and that was a really big mistake because he was very close to securing the back. But now he's still around the backside, and being a high-level wrestler, I expect him to be able to mat return here.
If he can dig the hooks in here, McDonald's going to be in a very precarious position. About 75 seconds to go here in this final frame. McDonald drops down yet again, and Steps is going to turn him here, and McDonald's starting to sense some desperation here.
Marco's going to win this position. He's going to step on the leg. He's going to kick his left leg free, and he's going to end up in top position like this.
Nice job by McDonald to shift gears. Now, can he capitalize, James?
He has to bring the pressure now, though, because I believe he's down in this run. He has to bring the pressure. He has to posture up. He has to frame the face, and he has to do damage.
Under a minute to go in this fight. McDonald certainly needs to throw some shots and land them in addition, as we're 45 seconds to go here. As you see Steps just trying to hold him against his body.
We've seen throughout the night tonight that the judges have not been that favorable just to positions. They want to see damage. They want to see you working to
We
finish.
heard about it in the fighter meeting. They talked about the damage there essentially being what's going to get you points, and that's how we've seen it play out through the scoring tonight. Under 30 seconds to go. Steps did get a knee in there.
This is still anybody's fight. These are the moments where you have to dig deep.
As McDonald now trying to get something going before the end of the round. 15 seconds to go here, maybe trying one last takedown.
And if you're a coach right now, you are imploring your fighter, please pour it on. I need everything out of you. It's these last moments that the judges are going to record the 10 and the 9.
Nice job by Steps here to throw some knees there. And McDonald's going to connect with a knee right at the bell. Jerry Steps, have to tip your cap to him. 7 years layoff inside the cage, comes back, goes the distance with the rising star and Marco McDonald. James, this one can really go any way.
Absolutely. We're going to have to wait to see what the judges say on this one, but you cannot be disappointed in the fact that you took this on short notice on a 7-year layoff against a legitimate opponent, and you put on everything you had.
Let's find out who won this fight.
It was a close one.
Presenting your winner by split decision, 29-28, 28-29, 29-28, Marco McDonald!
I certainly saw it the other way, but a 29-28, 28-29, 29-28 split decision. It does not get any closer than that, James.
Yeah, it was razor close, and it's one of those ones where you don't want to leave it to the judges like that. You don't want one person to decide your victory or defeat. You have to step it up and really edge it out in the judges' minds.
And we want to welcome everyone back here to the Gary South Shore Railcat Stadium for Steel City Showdown 3. Once again, I'm Blake Chadwick alongside James Gray. It's been an incredible night of action thus far. We've seen some decisions, we've seen some pretty interesting finishes as well, and we're just getting started. Let's take a look at El Popo Tortilla, tail of the tape. Once again, these two both stand at 5'6", 135. They both had 4 amateur fights. Tramel Arrington, a slightly better record, but again, a very evenly matched contest. And now we head back inside the cage. Raj, Nathan, let's get the action started.
Introducing first, fighting out of the El Popo red corner, representing United Elite Gym with a record of 2-2, weighing in at 136 pounds, from Rochelle, Illinois, Wesley the Messenger Meadows.
Certainly does have that muscular frame.
Definitely athletic.
His opponent, fighting out of the El Popo blue corner, representing Mango Combat Sports with a record of 3-1, weighing in at 135.1 pounds, from Chicago, Illinois, Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington.
And you see that confidence just exuding out of Sweet Tea.
Referee Rob Hines.
Absolutely. If you are tuning into these bouts, do not blink. He is looking to finish.
So here we go. Wesley the Messenger Meadows, Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington. As you see, Arrington in the black, Meadows in the silver.
Meadows said, I have to pressure. I have to pressure early on. I have to get in this kid's head. And he is doing that. He's coming right at him.
Coming back with a series of strikes right out of the gate, but you see Sweet Tea just almost trying to lull him in. And we'll see when Tramel Arrington starts his offensive attack, which direction he goes. But right now, the pressure being put on by the Messenger.
I think Tramel's going to get comfortable in there for about 30 seconds, and then I think you're going to see him start letting his strikes go. And there it is.
Wants to see Wesley Meadows let his guard down a bit, perhaps, and then try to attack at the first sign. Nice shot right there.
Very
by Sweet
fast
Tea.
hands. Very fast hands. Very sharp.
And again, at his age and his stage of his career, I mean, looking very polished.
You can see in the sharpness of his technique how it came right off his face, right back to his face. Guard was back up. He's looking to land his counter shots.
Sweet Tea trying to throw a couple jabs in there as Meadows' head was down. As these two have kept it up with the stand-up game early on, but just as I say that, goes for the takedown, does the Messenger.
We're going to get to see a little bit of his takedown defense here. Very nice. Shucks him right off, defended that single leg well.
And even though they both stand at 5'6", it does appear as if the Messenger does have a bit of a height advantage, but nonetheless, Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington neutralizing that in the first minute and a half. Nice jab by Sweet Tea. Nice combination by Arrington. He might have caught one on the jaw coming back, but nonetheless, he's staying active on the offensive side.
Both of these guys are trying to get the rhythm going. They both look good. I like the fact that Wesley is pressuring. You don't want to build someone's confidence that is already confident. You want to get in their face and take it to him right off the bat.
Sweet Tea keeping his head centered right there. Some wild shots being thrown by the Messenger. And Arrington with a nice left-right.
He just shucks it off, but I'm telling you what, Tramel has power. You can tell by the way that he rotates on his shots.
And you can see that quick jab there by Arrington getting right in between the gloves of Wesley Meadows. 1 minute to go here in the first round.
Yeah, Wesley's hands are slowly drifting down, and I don't know if that's the right decision in front of a Tramel.
He's trying to create a combination here as the Messenger, but I don't know if his cycles are exactly what he wants right there as he tries a kick right there, connects on the side of the arm.
He's getting Tramel to freeze up a little bit when he's throwing, so he needs to keep the output. And it's obvious he does want to grapple at some point, but you work your way into those takedown entries with your hands.
That's the second time that Wesley Meadows has shot in on Tramel Arrington, but Arrington doing a nice job of standing upright. And now Arrington has him against the cage, trying to get some tight shots in on him.
So right now, Wesley actually has the underhook. He should be jacking that up and then circling off the wall, and there we go. He's broken out of the clinch, and he's back to his stand-up.
And Tramel Arrington have not seen a whole lot of pressure being put on Wesley Meadows by him in this one. As like nice takedown there by Tramel Arrington right towards the end of round one. And again, that's going to be the most fresh thing in the judges' minds as we head to this break. And that will be the end of the first round. Pretty back and forth affair right there. Still waiting to see exactly the game plan of Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington. Wesley the Messenger Meadows comes out pretty hot, but Sweet Tea's able to neutralize it. And now we head into round 2. Trammell Sweet Tea Arrington. What do you expect to see different from him in round number 2 as he was a bit more passive in the first 3 minutes?
Yeah, I think he's got a feel for him now, so I think you're going to start seeing some output this round. I think he's going to start putting his combinations together. And the fact that he had that success with the double leg, I wouldn't be shocked to see another takedown.
We'll see if the third time is the charm for Wesley the Messenger Meadows and if he can finally get some offense rolling after a takedown. As we're off and running here in round number 3, his uppercut attempt by Trammell Sweet Tea Arrington. As you pointed out, James, very quick hands.
And Wesley is high on the output. Like, he's just not letting Trammell settle in.
Somewhat loose shots there by Wesley Meadows, but again, the output is there. As Trammell Arrington looks like he might have...
a little bit of a low blow.
Yeah, caught one between the knees. As we'll see if Wesley Meadows here will go to the neutral corner, and Trammell Sweet Tea Arrington will have some time to walk this one off.
Now, it's really important in these moments to settle in, relax, breathe, not let it get in your head, shuck it right off and say, okay, what's my game plan, and come right back out to execute. I like what Wesley's doing so far, though. I mean, he is taking the fight to him. I do think he needs to be a little bit tighter in his defense because Trammell has power and he is just waiting to let it fly.
Certainly can't give Sweet Tea an opening because he will exploit it. We've already seen him attempt it a couple of times. Thankfully for Wesley Meadows, did not feel a lot of damage, but Sweet Tea trying to tee him up for something here.
You can see the psychological warfare that's being played by Wesley. Like, he's throwing his hands up every time he gets hit. He's trying to get in the head of the 18-year-old kid.
As Trammell Arrington here, almost welcoming the offensive output of Wesley Meadows, as now he's trying to almost lull him in. But Meadows, again, you talked about the activity, James, and he's continuing right now, not landing a lot of shots, but he is the one on the offensive attack.
100%. He's going to be slowly edging these rounds out, and here comes a takedown attempt.
Trammell going for a second takedown in as many rounds, and Meadows doing a nice job to tie him up as we get onto the ground.
So now Meadows needs to get his right knee to the wall, and he needs to come back up, and he can turn that into an underhook with his left arm. So now he opted for the whizzer. He's just got to turn off the wall. You can't give away the round.
And you see he's got the hook in yet again. Let's see if he can control the pace here. As again, with his power and strength, you'd think this might be a favorable position for Wesley Meadows.
Yeah, I would actually say this favors Wesley, but then again, he just gave up his back to go for a Kimura attempt. He's looking to Kimura that arm. He went for like a desperate...
He's going for it. Oh, trying to get it again, but a nice job by Arrington to shift his weight and get back on his knees. And now almost trying to attain side control. And now Meadows trying to push him off, create some separation. As you see, maybe a head and arm triangle.
It looks like
Trammell Arrington almost put himself in a very dangerous position.
Yeah, Trammell was really relaxed there right there while a triangle was coming up at him, and you got to be ready to move when those situations are taking place. I expect to see some ground and pound now because he's got to start making a statement in this round.
Couldn't get him in full mount position right there. Could not get the ground and pound executed, but now trying to hook that front chancery. And now the go behind by Trammell Sweet Tea Arrington. Wesley Meadows again now trying to use his power and strength to get out of it.
So he's looking for a Kimura on this arm, and what he did last time is he looked to hit a judo throw off there where you step across the leg and throw them. It's a little bit risky. Really, I think he should just square up, take back control of the clinch, and keep it basic.
Meadows very calculated in his attack here, really dialing in on that Kimura attempt.
Because you got to remember, the judges may not understand what's going on fully, so they're just seeing the opponent has your back, he's in control of the fight, so you got to consider that in these moments.
Nice job by Arrington to keep his head low and prevent any reversal there by Wesley Meadows. Arrington has him against the cage here. We're nearing the end of round number 2. Catches him with a jab there, does Wesley Meadows. A little combination there, a couple of rights. Got him right before the bell, and Wesley Meadows, once again for the second consecutive round, appears to be in control. And I take a look at the body language there of Trammell Sweet Tea Arrington. I don't think this fight is going how he expected.
100%. I think he was expecting something completely different out of his opponent. He was expecting to be able to instantly set the pace and take control of the fight. And Wesley is here to fight. From start to finish, he's been on him, and every time something's landed, he shucks it off. He just says, hey, bring it on.
So we're heading into round number 3. This fight has been very even. It does appear to have a slight advantage towards our red corner, Wesley the Messenger Meadows. But James, taking a look here, this final 3 minutes, what do both fighters have to do to give them a definitive victory?
Yeah, I mean, the takedowns are there for Trammell. So if you're going to utilize the takedown, let's set it up early, let's put him on his back, and let's be very definitive while we look to finish. If you're Wesley, you got to keep him uncomfortable. You can tell that when he has the output in his face and he's constantly pressuring, Trammell can't get his game going.
And again, taking a look at Wesley Meadows throughout this fight, he's had a lot of volume, not necessarily connecting on everything, a little bit loose, maybe a little bit sloppy at times, but if he can continue that offensive output, that volume here in the final 3 minutes, that just in itself might be enough.
Absolutely. Sometimes just stifling your opponent's game is enough.
And we have not really seen Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington get into a groove. He has really not taken over the fight in any way, as he's trying to almost land a couple of shots and take over from there, but Wesley Meadows has not backed down.
You can almost see every time he sets up and he wants to let his strikes go, Wesley is in his face throwing.
And Arrington's been on his heels for the bulk of this round thus far. Throughout the first 30 seconds, Meadows continuing to press forward.
I wonder if that psychological warfare played a little bit of an effect where when Tramel landed some big shots, Wesley just shucked it off and kept going, because now Tramel is not throwing. He needs to get his output going.
As Meadows here once again continuing to throw kicks, not necessarily doing a lot of damage. Catches a high head kick right there. I believe that was blocked by Tramel. But nonetheless, Wesley Meadows here for the first 50 seconds of this third round in firm control.
100%. If you are Tramel's coach, you have to be imploring him to fight right now. You have to tell him, like, we might have to bite down on the mouthpiece. We have to go forward. We have to look for our takedown entries. We have to change this fight.
Certainly have to pick up the pace and try to shift gears a little bit here. Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington's kind of been hanging around in second gear. He needs to shift into third, maybe fourth gear very quickly.
So again, there's more of that taunting. There's more of that psychological warfare. But I don't know if I would stand with my hands down in front of Tramel. He is dangerous.
He's still waiting for that one big shot that he has not landed thus far, but Wesley Meadows, again, that activity is just really thrown off Tramel Arrington.
Wesley said to me, he said, I need to believe in myself. I need to go forward, and I need to bring pressure. He has done that the entire fight.
Over halfway now through this final frame, and we're still waiting for Tramel Arrington to get into a groove. He's connected on a few combinations thus far, but really hasn't been able to build. Now, Wesley Meadows almost trying to taunt him in here. I don't think you want to get on that side of Tramel Arrington, but again, with only about 70 seconds to go, he might not have enough time to get back in the fight for the blue corner.
Yeah, Tramel should be trying to draw.
Oh, Tramel goes down, but again, Meadows not really capitalizing, but it seems like, again, James, just doing enough to stay ahead.
100%. Tramel just can't get going. He almost might have to accept a brawl, bite down on his mouthpiece, throw hard, because he can't get his rhythm going. Wesley's controlling this fight.
Down to our final 50 seconds, he is indeed controlling, and you have to imagine, James, if he was landing some of these shots with a little bit more effectiveness, not only would they've already seen a stoppage, this would be a clear unanimous decision.
I know you've heard the expression that sometimes the best offense or the best defense is a good offense. That's what Wesley's doing right now. He's not having to work his defense as much because he is constantly on the gas.
Indeed, continuing to stay active here and not allowing any of Tramel Arrington's couple of takedowns that we've now seen or a few of his combinations to really have a lot of effect. We are down to our final 20 seconds here of this fight, and if you're Tramel Arrington, you're sensing desperation. You really have to try to get something going, and very quickly.
100%. You can't hold on. You can't try to make it to a decision. You got to break free right now, and you got to let your shots go heavy.
And it looks like he's trying it, but Wesley Meadows doing his best to just stay in position. Tramel Arrington throwing everything at the wall to see if it sticks, but Wesley Meadows here, after 3 rounds of action, it appears like he did enough to come away with a decision.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. He was able to keep his opponent stifled and not able to fight. You can see the frustration. Look, you can see the Tramel's not happy that he wasn't really able to show his skill set. But that's not because he wasn't ready. It's because of the game plan that Wesley executed.
And again, Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington, 4 fights, but only 18 years old. He does have some experience, but maybe a little bit of immaturity from the fighter's side. And the fact that he was so confident coming in, underestimated his opponent a bit, who has the same amount of fights as he does, that very well could have cost him early on, and it was too little too late to recover.
100%. In life, when you expect something to be easy and then it's not, all of a sudden you are not in the right psychological state to handle it. You thought it was going to be a walk in the park. You thought you were going to knock him out in the first round.
Start sensing a bit of desperation, and certainly desperation, unless you literally hit that Hail Mary, it's going to be very difficult to get back into the fight. It looks like our decision about to come down right now as Raj Nathan conferencing with our ringside judges here, but nonetheless, either way, both of these fighters do appear to have bright futures. Still a little bit raw, but a lot to build on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they have so much good stuff that they can build on off this fight. With Wesley, I mean, he can sharpen up his tools a little bit. He can get a little bit more dangerous with his strikes. Tramel's just got to learn how to let it go. At 18 years of age, I mean, he has so much potential.
And you have to imagine if Wesley Meadows is able to tighten up some of those strikes, he could improve and improve very quickly.
Absolutely, and he is not afraid of a fight. I mean, he was on him start to finish. You can tell the guy wants to be in there. He belongs in there.
Certainly did not back down. Now Raj Nathan with the decision.
Presenting your winner by split decision, 29-28, 27-30, 29-28, Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington!
And you see the reaction by Wesley the Messenger Meadows. That's not the message he was expecting to hear from Roz Nason. Tramel Sweet Tea Arrington pulls out the victory. He's almost in as much shock as we are, James.
All right, listen, somebody gave him 30-27. Okay, if you wanted to try to argue at 29-28, I would hear your case.
Yeah, hear the case.
30-27, I have no idea what that judge was watching. I'll say it.
We'll be back with more Elite MMA action after the break. The action continues here. We head back to the women's side. It's strawweight action here in Gary.
Up next, out of the El Popo red corner, please welcome Lena Belladonna Krishnan.
Unbelievable turn of events here, still in disbelief at our bantamweight finish, but now we head to a strawweight battle as Lena Krishnan from Intercept MMA in the state of Illinois. She's the number 7 pound-for-pound women's fighter in the state of Illinois. In her second amateur fight here, she won back in August in a unanimous decision. She's back in the cage. James, she is hyped up.
I have the best story from weigh-ins from this girl, Lena. She told me when she went into Intercept for the first time, this MMA school, she thought it was a Zumba class. She thought mixed martial arts was just mixing martial arts together to do a fitness routine. She did not know that she was training to be a fighter. She said it didn't hit her until Pierre at the end of one of the classes says, listen, we're all fighters here. We're training to be successful. That she went, wait, this is for fighting? She thought she was signing up for a Zumba fitness class. This is a true story, ladies and gentlemen.
Unbelievable. The longer I do this, the more I think I've heard it all, but for the very first time, Zumba turns into MMA, but Lena Krishnan obviously stuck with it, obviously saw something in the fight game, and now she's 1-0 as an amateur. You see her teammate there, Marco McDonald, giving her a big hug, ready to go, and of course, Sebastian Brito as well. A lot of top fighters coming from Intercept, but now Krishnan, she's back in the cage yet again, and she's looking to ride this incredible, unpredictable story.
Absolutely. And when you're surrounded by other people that are on the same journey and they're winning and they're doing well and Intercept is making an impact, it empowers you. It makes you feel ready for these bouts. And you can tell that this girl just has the fight in her. She didn't back down when she found out it wasn't Zumba. She said, I'm sorry, what? Okay, I'm going to fight then. I'm going to get in that cage.
That's certainly a story that could be played out in the movie theater. as Lena Krishman. What an unbelievable situation that is. But again, she is moving up the ranks very quickly in the top 10 in the state of Illinois, pound for pound. But her opponent, also in the top 10 in the state of Illinois in pound-for-pound fighters, Brianna the Pitbull Kristen. Something's got to give in this one. And I'll tell you what, the matchmakers here with Elite Fight Night, the Elite Amateur Fight League, the last couple of fights have been very, very even.
100%. And I asked Lena, I said, hey, what are you looking for tonight? What's the game plan? She said, I'm going to tell you what, I just won a war. I don't care where the fight goes, I'm here for a war. So she is ready for it, and I believe that Brianna's going to bring it.
As Krishman is in the cage, and now we wait on our blue corner.
Out of the El Nacimiento blue corner, Brianna Pitbull Kristen.
And here comes the Pitbull out of MMA Stop in Plainfield, Illinois. Ranked in the top 10 pound for pound, as we said, in the state of Illinois. In addition, here to the state of Indiana, one of the top fighters in the Midwest. She did lose her debut back at Steel City Showdown 1 in this arena. As we take a look at our tail of the tape here, very slight height advantage for Lena Krishman. And again, one extra fight for Brianna Kristen. But something is going to go down in this one. I expect some big fireworks. I'd almost be surprised if we see a decision here. I feel like a finish is on the horizon.
100%. And I asked Brianna, I said, hey, they call you the Pitbull. Well, tell me about yourself. How did you get into mixed martial arts? And she said, well, you know what? It started with Taekwondo at 6. But then when I got to 13 years of age, I wanted a challenge. I wanted to go into something harder. I found martial arts. I got into wrestling in college. I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I am confident in every aspect of the fight.
So two fighters coming from improbable backgrounds, and now both looking to carve a niche here in the strawweight division throughout the Midwest. And we very well could be looking at the future of women's MMA right here.
And like you said, they're both ranked in the top 10. This is stellar matchmaking. This is the moment you want to see. This is the test that each athlete needs to go to the next level.
This is our featured women's bout on tonight's card. Again, we're moving right along through the amateurs. Only 3 amateur bouts left before we begin our professionals. So we're going to head back to the cage. Strawweight action. Lena Krishman, Brianna Kristen, Raj Nathan, take it away.
The following strawweight bout is brought to you by Modelo. Introducing first, fighting out of the El Popo red corner, representing Intercept and entering tonight with a record of 1-0, weighing in at 115.3 pounds, from Chicago, Illinois, Lena Belladonna Krishnan.
She certainly brought her following to Gary.
Her opponent, fighting out of the El Nacimiento blue corner, representing MMA Stop with a record of 1-1, weighing in at 115 pounds, from Joliet, Illinois, Brianna Pitbull Kristen.
So two fighters who brought
Referee
big
Rob
followings
Madrigal.
from the great state of Illinois here, just a little over an hour to the neighboring state of Indiana. And this is our featured women's bout of the night in the strawweight division, Lena Krishman and Brianna Kristen.
Lena's got all the expectations from the Zumba community now on the line as well. Oh, wow. Very sharp stand-up off the bat.
And look at Krishman here. She certainly looks like she's ready to go. And I saw her coming in here. Something about her told me like she had a bit of a Muay Thai background, and you see some of the knees thrown, and now she takes her right to the ground, into the guard here, and Brianna Kristen certainly in an unfavorable position.
Yeah, Lena, man,
And
she
she opened her up.
instantly. She opened her up with strikes. She went to her body lock. She got the takedown. I mean, Lena is a bully.
And I think the wrong nickname here, the Pitbull looks like Lena Krishman.
Or we have two pit bulls locked in the cage, because that was an explosive start.
Indeed it was, and you can see right there, certainly opening up Brianna the Pitbull Kristen, as Krishman now looking to get in a full mount position.
I'm seeing some intelligent grappling from both these ladies. The little nuances of what's taking place tells me that both girls are highly experienced on the ground.
You mentioned the blue belt in BJJ, and now Krishman trying to get that leg over the right leg, rather the left leg of Kristen.
Lena should actually be able to mount right now. If she pressures, she's going to be able to pass this guard, get into a side control, get into a mount, and then really do damage. The problem with still being in a guard is it's pretty difficult to do significant damage.
If she can get a couple of shots in there right above the eye, that cut looking meaner and meaner as we're about halfway through this first round as Lena Krishman came out with fireworks and has put herself in a favorable position here throughout this first round.
I mean, it was definitely the most explosive start of the evening, and these women are here to fight. It is 2 pit bulls in that cage.
Indeed, as right now, Brianna Kristen, how is she going to be able to escape here, trying to sprawl out? I mean, James, when you're in this kind of unfavorable position, what sort of technique can you use to escape?
Well, generally every fighter has like an A game and a B game. So like, in my opinion, she needs to get on her hips right now. She needs to get to the underhook, which she just did, and she needs to start coming up with the underhook. She's actually reversed the position.
And a nice job looking to turn Crispin.
Now this is excellent Uchimata work out of Christian. She's going to try to kick the... Oh, nice. We're up on the cage. We're going to see another part of the war.
Back to the stand-up here as Kristen tries to throw some knees. And a nice job by Krishman to reverse her onto the cage.
That was that grappling knowledge because she had to get on her hips. She had to get the underhook. She had to work her way up, and that's exactly what she did.
And you can see that long length there of Lena Krishman, allowing her to stay at a vertical base. As Brianna Kristen here, looking like she's in a big struggle. 30 seconds to go here in this first round. Some body shots being thrown by Lena Krishman. Nice job to stay active here in this position.
Not only can you tell Lena is well trained, but she is bringing this fight. She's in triangle danger right now. She does have a triangle choke being set up on her, but with the fact that she's got her wedged against the cage like this, she should be able to stifle this attack.
As Krishman now for these final 10 seconds looking to remain in position as Brianna Kristen again up against the cage in an unfavorable spot. Certainly you have to imagine the clock is her friend here, as that will bring us to the end of round number 1. And through 2 fights and 1 round, I'll tell you what, James, Intercept MMA looking very, very strong here tonight in Gary.
Absolutely. Like I said, I know their coach personally. I know that he dedicates his life to this craft. He is all in on his fighters. He does, him and his wife. His wife is a professional fighter that just had a huge victory for Combate. She won by submission. It went viral for breaking the girl's arm. They live and breathe MMA, so it spills over into the team. And you can see it in Lena's spirit. As soon as that bell rang, she was here to fight.
And if you're Brianna Kristen coming into this fight, 1-1, a little bit more experience than Lena Krishman, obviously ranked in not only Illinois but Indiana as well. Now on your heels a little bit, how do you recover in round number 2? How do you change up the game plan and take out Lena Krishman's offensive attack?
Yeah, I think she wasn't expecting the pressure and to be bullied that way right off the bat. I think she's going to come out very sharp this round. She's going to be setting distance, and if Lena overextends, I think Brianna actually gets the takedown this round.
Lena Krishman looks ready to go here in round number 2.
I think they're going to take a look at the cut.
As we're awaiting the doctor to enter the cage here, is our official doing his due diligence.
Luckily, I think it's outside of the eye. It should be perfectly fine to allow the fight to continue, but...
Doesn't look very deep in there. The doctor's going to check. And looks relatively surface, I believe. So they're just talking about it right now, and she's going to pass the test, and we will continue this fight on into round 2.
I think she knows what to expect now, but I don't think Liana is going to let off the gas at all. Lena.
And taking a look at the body language there and the facial expressions of Brianna Kristen, not how she expected round number 1 to go. So the action gets started here in round number 2. The fireworks begin, and once again, Lena Krishman throwing a series of strikes out of the gate. And there's the takedown attempt, and Krishman's going to get on top, and a nice reversal
beautiful.
in a mount position.
She's in the mount.
And here comes the ground and pound.
She's
Lena Krishman gives up her back. Can she dig the hooks in here, James?
She's got to fix her position. She focused on trying to do damage and didn't fix the position. Lena's going to end up on top.
Lena Krishman doing a nice job to stay centered and not roll with her. And now Krishman could be getting back in a favorable position here. The tide is continuing to turn here in this bout.
She's into an armbar now, so there is an armbar threat here, especially
Has
if
to
she
be
can come
careful.
out the
She
back
can
door.
turn her over. If she flags around, that could be all.
She's bellying down on the arm.
And Lena Krishman here needs to shift her weight.
Lena is out of danger. She can step one leg back and go into top side control.
Great job by Lena Krishman to escape some serious danger there. She's giving up the back, and if Brianna Kristen was a little more alert, she could have maybe pulled her right into that rear naked chokes. But now here comes Lena Krishman, some hammer fists. She's getting those shots in there, in the mount position. James, this is exactly where she wants her.
100% smooth transition from the knee on belly into the mount position. She's settled in. Look, she's not rushing it. She's going to pick her shots.
And a great job to stay grounded here. A veteran move by Lena Krishman. Again, as you said, not just exploding with shots, picking her spots here and going to allow some of those to get in. And now the exposed face of Brianna Kristen is right there for the taking.
It's those micro moments that make such a big difference. Brianna almost had the back, and she rushed to the ground and pound a little bit and fell out of position. Lena's not going to make that mistake. She's settling in, and she's looking to pick her shots. I expect her to open up in about 10 to 15 seconds and really bring the heat.
And Lena here is in a position where she can really do some damage and possibly end this fight over the next 70 seconds. If she can get some clean shots in on the face of Brianna Kristen, the referee will have no choice but to stop it. If the hammer fists keep raining down, Lena Krishman needs to stay active right here. She has her in the danger zone.
100%. You don't get here often in the fight, so you got to instantly capitalize on this. You got to
Coming
bring
down,
shots.
Brianna Kristen starting to cover up here.
Brianna's got to be
She's
careful.
getting pushed to the precipice here. The referee getting a little closer. He's checking in. Could this do it? Lena Krishman not letting up on the attack. She's got 40 seconds.
They're going to call this not intelligent defense if she doesn't start moving more. This is not
And
intelligent.
that's going to do it. And
Fight's
Lena
over.
Krishman with the ground and pound pulls out the victory, moves to 2-0. And James, you have to think with that win, will move into the top 5, pound for pound in the state of Illinois. And what an incredible story from the Zumba class all the way to the cage, and now she's 2-0.
Lena found what she's meant to do. That girl said to me yesterday, I want a war. Give me a war. And you know what? She went out there and made it a war zone.
She might have stepped into the wrong class, but she certainly has the right heart for the sport of MMA. As Lena Krishman, again, very impressive here. She won her debut via unanimous decision, and now a ground and pound TKO with the strikes. Pulls out the win. Incredible performance here, James.
If I'm not mistaken, Intercept went 3-0 tonight, so they are doing good things over in that camp.
Intercept, certainly 3 incredible performances. Obviously, McDonald, that one could have maybe gone either way, but Sebastian Brito, one of the top performances tonight, and at least on the female side, it's very difficult to not give that nod to Lena Krishman. Obviously, we saw some excellent work earlier on with judo, but I'll tell you what, Lena Krishman moves to 2-0. Now let's have Raj Nathan make it official.
Here is your winner by referee stoppage via strikes at 2 minutes and 26 seconds in the second round, Lena Belladonna Krishman!
A very proud Lena Krishman, as well as the entire coaching staff of Intercept MMA, and when they head back to the gym next week, it's going to be a big celebration and a whole lot to build on for that camp.
100%. The message I would like to send to them is when you are more victorious in life, you put a bigger bullseye on your back. So you want to take these victories, but you want to go back and get right back to work.
An incredible performance there to wrap up our women's action here tonight.
I'm a Lena fan. That was a great fight, and you could tell the intensity and the spirit and the heart. She's coming to fight.
Up next in the cage, first out of the El Popo red corner, Jonathan Lil Dirty Johnson.
All right, folks, one of the most highly anticipated bouts on the card. We talked about it during the opening. The one title on the line tonight is the Amateur Flyweight Championship. It is, of course, vacant. As we know, Jonathan Appelman, the former bantamweight champion, or excuse me, flyweight champion, turning pro in recent months. Now this title is vacant. Jonathan Lil Dirty Johnson taking on Celso Silva right here. This is going to be a big one, but again, as we talked about, James, a little bit of controversy coming down over the last 24 hours.
100%. These two were supposed to fight a year ago, and then last night, Celso missed weight by 3.5 pounds. So tonight, he will be ineligible for the title. And you know what JJ said? I don't care. I'm here to fight. We are settling it tonight.
Lil Dirty Johnson is on a 4-fight win streak. His only loss, the fight he was supposed to take against Celso Silva almost 1 year ago to the day. He lost that fight in a triangle choke in round number 3, obviously not expecting to face that opponent. Since then, he's pulled off a unanimous decision victory, a split decision victory, and a couple of finishes with an arm triangle and a TKO with punches, and he's faced some solid competition as well. This young man is on the rise. He's the number 4 flyweight in the state of Indiana, as well as the number 4 flyweight in the state of Illinois. He is going to be the future here in the Midwest, but he still has to get by his thorn in his side, if you will, Celso Silva.
Absolutely, and possibly his toughest test to date. I mean, it'd be hard to argue that Celso is not the toughest test, and he missed weight. He's going to come in a little bit heavy, but I have a lot of faith in this kid. I asked him, why do you fight? He said, hey, I wrestled in middle school, wrestled in high school, wrestled in college. I had a fire in my chest after college wrestling, and I said, what am I going to do with it? So I got led into MMA, and once I stepped in the cage for the first time, I knew this is my future.
And Celso Silva debuted just 13 months ago, back in May of 2021, already 4 fights under his belt, all 4 finishes, a pair of rear naked chokes, an arm bar, as well as a TKO with strikes. So this young man does not want to be in there very long. He wants to get the job done very quickly. And we're talking about the number 2 flyweight in Illinois and Indiana against the number 4 flyweight in Illinois and Indiana. Certainly 2 of the top prospects. This has got title fight written all over.
Yeah, and this is the type of fight you want to see. Are you ready for the next level? Are you ready to become a professional fighter? This is the type of fight that you need to test that. So the exciting thing about this bout is I believe we have a wrestler versus a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Will it turn into a stand-up battle? Will it be those high-end grappling exchanges? Celso told me at the interview yesterday, I'm going to submit him. And, we'll see if that's true.
And he's certainly done that a couple of different times, 3 times to be exact, throughout his career thus far. But again, this could be a high-level grappling bout. We shall see as challenger number 2 enters the cage.
And his opponent, about to make his way towards the cage, out of the El Nacimiento blue corner, Celso Short Time Silva.
And it will certainly throw a wrench into the flyweight division if Celso Silva is able to pull out the victory, because in that case, James, the title would remain vacant.
Yeah, 100%. And Celso told me, listen, I know I'm in for a war tonight. I'm expecting a war. I know this is going to be a tough bout, but I have what it takes to be successful. And I also wonder, why did he miss weight? Did his camp not go right? Was he battling sickness? Like, that's a big factor leading up to this fight.
It certainly is a big factor. We don't necessarily have to account for travel. There's not necessarily any extenuating circumstances. So for a guy who's been on point for the first year plus of his competition, have to certainly figure that one out. Let's take a look at El Popo Tortilla, tail of the tape. Very evenly matched here, 5-5 apiece, both checked in at $125. And of course, Johnson does have one more fight than Silva. Both fighters with 4 victories. Again, they were supposed to fight at this event last June. That is where Johnson picked up his loss. Both fighters here looking to make a big statement, but again, Celso Silva has to overcome the fact that even if he wins tonight, James does not get the championship.
And that is disappointing, but you cannot allow that to get in your head. If you step in the ring disappointed, frustrated, angry at yourself over the weight miss, you might underperform and you might blow your opportunity. He needs to put that out of his head, focus on the fight ahead, and then worry about getting titles.
And it certainly could set up a situation where if Celso Silva is able to get by Jonathan Lil Dirty Johnson, we very well could run it back for the flyweight championship sometime down the line. A lot of storylines, a lot building right here between this fight.
In my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, this is about to be fight of the night. This is the fight you do not want to miss.
Certainly our only title fight and one of our top featured bouts of the night. Certainly the top on the amateur side. Big fight feel here in Gary. Steel City Showdown 3. Raj Nathan, take it away. Title fight on the line.
This flyweight contest is brought to you by Modelo and Agoji. Introducing first, fighting out of the El Popo red corner, representing Maxim with a 3-1 record, weighing in at 124.7 pounds from Hobart, Indiana, Jonathan Lil Dirty Johnson.
Little discrepancy there on the record.
His opponent, fighting out of the El Nacimiento blue corner, representing MMA Stop, entering tonight with an undefeated 4-0 record, weighing 129 pounds from Joliet, Illinois, Celso Short Time Silva.
So again, James, you have to wonder for
Referee Rob
somebody
Matthews.
who's already had 4 fights in the last year at 125, how do you check into a title fight at 129 with plenty of opportunity to prepare?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. We're going to find out exactly where it went wrong or if he shucked it out of his mind and he's focused on the fight tonight.
Let's see, they touch gloves and the action starts here. Our title fight featured of the night, flyweight title on the line on the amateur side here for the EAFL. And we talked about the grappler and the wrestling and the Muay Thai. We talked about that right here, the BJJ rather. And right now they're on the ground and then we quickly stand right back up.
Yeah, JJ looks like he's trying to force the grappling exchanges a little bit here. And it looks like Celso is more confident to stand and bang. He's really trying to let his shots go and let his strikes find their mark.
Celso certainly has something to prove here, coming in overweight, ineligible to win the championship. Now a nice series of strikes and trying to get things going with that knee now. Now tied up, has Johnson against the cage here, trying to dig the hooks in. And Johnson backs him off, now puts Silva against the cage.
Anytime a fighter misses weight, you always have the question as well that will it affect their gas tank? That is something that I think we should all be asking because they are fighting at a high pace right off the bell.
And even if it affects it just the most minimal amount in this type of high-level environment, that's enough to be a difference.
Oh, absolutely. At this level of skill, the tiniest advantage is a big deal.
So Silva here trying to create some separation against against Johnson.
Yep, there we go. Celso really wants to stand. He is comfortable. Beautiful right hand into a knee.
Certainly caught him with that right. Staggers Johnson a bit now.
That was a really good level change. Now Johnson has to chain wrestle. He can't settle here with a jiu-jitsu practitioner like Celso.
Johnson wants to wrestle here, but you see Silva doing a nice job to sprawl out, preventing any sort of takedown.
I'd like to see him work up with those shots. You don't want to stay on the bottom like that.
And that's the second or third time already throughout the first half of this round that Celso Silva has effectively thrown a knee.
That's a beautiful body shot by Celso.
Caught him right there in the liver. Nice job by Celso Silva as he's been very active here throughout the first 2 minutes of this round.
You can see JJ wants to get this fight to the
Oh, he catches him with a knee.
Beautiful. He was a little off balance there.
Down he goes, trying to coax him into the guard here. But a beautiful job by Celso Silva. Those Muay Thai-like knees working at a very high level.
Yeah, Celso looks sharp here. I mean, look at how that body shot.
Look at these combinations here. That's the second time he's landed a big body shot. McDonald's covering up.
And
Excuse me, Johnson.
100%, and he is really staying on him. I mean, Johnson is not comfortable in there yet. He is covering up. He's getting crushed to the body, crushed to the head. Celso looks fantastic.
Celso just continuing to unload here with these shots. 30 seconds to go here in this first round. Catches him right between the gloves.
Perfect jab. Honestly, JJ might have to weather the storm a little bit and hope that Celso slows down because Celso looks sharp.
He certainly has to hope that gas tank runs out, but he's cruising right now. As Celso Silva continues to catch him with those jabs in between the gloves. I don't believe Johnson was prepared for this type of onslaught.
No, the fluidity in the strikes from, he's going to the head, he's going to the body, he's chopping the legs. He is really mixed it up. Celso looks like a professional fighter.
As we're heading towards the final 10 seconds here of this first round, Celso Silva putting on a clinic throughout the first 3 minutes. You see the crowd in the first couple of rows. They're all jacked up, and despite being overweight, ineligible to win the championship, Celso Silva, a dynamite round number 1.
Absolutely. That was a spectacular round, and his heart is in this fight. The only questions I have is how will his cardio hold up in the late rounds? JJ, you might have to weather a little bit of a storm here, and you have to mix it up a little. You cannot just ball up against the cage.
So if you're Jonathan Lil Dirty Johnson here, certainly not what you thought you'd output in round number 1 here as we head to the second 3 minutes. Again, Celso Silva looking very strong. How do you counter those attacks?
Yeah, he's got to stay moving. He cannot ball up on the cage and just cover up, because when he covers his head, Celso goes to the body. When he starts dropping his hands, he goes to his head. And look at how calm and composed Celso is. I am really impressed by this performance.
The way Celso Silva performed throughout those first 3 minutes, continuing to do more and more damage there on Jonathan Johnson, it seems like we could be heading towards a finish.
Yeah, I mean, he is not looking to take this fight to the decision. You can tell. He is looking to get Jonathan out of there, but he's also calculating. He's not overextending where he gets taken down.
And again, Silva in his first 4 amateur fights finished all of them. So that has been the theme for him. This is right in his wheelhouse here in round 2. And you see right out of the gate, he's going to continue to press forward a bit and try to take it right towards Jonathan Johnson. And look at Silva there, shaking his head. He wants more. Celso Silva has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder here.
Yeah, Celso is switched on. He is dialed in. He is focused. He is ready for this fight.
And Silva really has those hands working. As he's trying to measure up, JJ here catches him in the right-left combo. Once again, as Silva really having these exchanges working at a high level.
Yeah, the feints are fantastic. The hands are fantastic. The way he's setting up these strikes, the way he's diversifying his strikes. Celso looks like a professional athlete tonight.
Great head movement there by Celso Silva, evading some shots by JJ.
Look at the range management. He's landing at the very end of his shots, and he's making JJ just miss his strikes.
Indeed he is. The separation being created just at the last second there as Silva again just moving right out of the way of the strike of Jonathan Johnson.
And you can tell that he's a high-level striker because he switches to southpaw. He's super comfortable. He goes back to orthodox. He's getting drawn into a brawl a little bit, which he doesn't need to do. He needs to stay long and stay sharp.
Certainly needs to stay on his game here, which has been for the majority of this fight. Catches that one right in between the gloves. As Jonathan Johnson now has done a better job in this round, but again, it has been mostly Celso Silva. Oh, catches him with a nice left.
Cross right down the middle. He's hurt.
And Silva catches him now against the cage. I don't know why the ref broke that one up, unless he caught him low.
I did not think that was low. I thought that was a perfect knee to the body. And, I mean, that's a huge moment in the fight because he had him hurt bad.
He did have him hurt. That was a great opportunity to capitalize. We talked about a finish. That was a great opportunity really for the finish.
That's unfortunate because he had JJ hurt right there.
Jonathan Johnson bailed out by our official.
Those moments can be incredibly impactful in a fight because you had someone that was rocked who needed to recover. Celso was going to turn it on, and he gets a free break.
As we're halfway through round number 2, so halfway through this fight, and Celso Silva has dominated here almost to the point of 30-27.
I mean, Celso looks sharp. Look at his distance, his range. Whoa, beautiful counter strikes.
And again, he's not staying away. He's not swaying. He's continuing to stay focused. Nice knee right there again by Celso Silva.
Nice job. Nice job. He got the fight to the ground. He needs to stay on that leg. He needs to sweep the foot out again. We need to try to settle Celso down because this stand-up has been all Celso.
He needs to go for that takedown again and stay on top. As he's got Celso Silva against the cage, tying him up here a bit. 50 seconds to go in the second round.
And this is an effective game plan. When someone is doing that well at range, you have got to start smothering them. You got to get in their face.
And for the second time in about a minute, Johnson takes him down, but within about 2 or 3 seconds, Silva pops right back up.
100%. I think Johnson's just trying to solve this enigma here. He's like, man, I'm getting butchered at range. I'm trying to take him down. He's got great takedown defense. He's trying to solve this problem, but Celso Silva looks fantastic.
And Silva remaining active here, continuing to press forward. Nice body shot again. And these combinations by Celso Silva, very high-level professional style fighting.
To credit Jonathan, though, I mean, he is all heart because he is kind of getting battered in some of these combinations, but his willpower has not shaken at all. He is still focused on trying to find a way to win this fight.
As Celso Silva here, once again with a jab, working to his favor, catches him with a right cross at the bell, and James through 2 rounds of action, Celso Silva putting on a clinic.
Is this a 3 or a 5 round fight, though?
I do believe it's 3, but it very well could end up being 5.
Because if there's a title on the line, I would imagine it would be 5, even though Celso is ineligible for the belt.
That's an excellent point right there. Obviously, at the amateur level, it could go either direction, so we'll see how this one plays out. Obviously, Celso Silva in the driver's seat right now, but if there are those extra 2 rounds, that could open the door a little bit larger there for Jonathan Little Dirty Johnson.
Yeah, I think it favors Jonathan then, because then maybe the cut's a bigger factor. You have more time to figure out the problem. If this is the final round, you got to get desperate. That's a beautiful takedown entry, but you got to be on him now.
Doesn't capitalize on it. Certainly had the takedown there, but you thought the BJJ might have kicked in.
It's those micro moments that you have to capitalize on. It is not easy to take Celso down. When you get him down, you have to stick to him.
Oh, Celso with a nice left. And a good job by Johnson to step away from the cage there, but Celso Silva here, it looks like some of the gas has left the tank, but he's still staying in his game and allowing himself to be effective with those punches.
Well, and I also think the fact that Jonathan secured that takedown, it's giving. Whoa!
And Johnson's head gets rocked right there. That nose gets opened up a bit.
Fighters at home, take note of the jab. I mean, this jab is fantastic.
Celso Silva again putting on a striking clinic here in Gary, Indiana, as Jonathan Johnson, that nose busted open. And Silva continues to press forward, catches him with another jab and then a right cross.
Yeah, he's battering him with the jab. He now needs to put something right behind the jab, and he could get a finish here.
And Silva doing an incredible job of mixing in his punches. Great combinations.
And look how composed he is. He's not rushing it. He's had him hurt multiple times, but he's just picking his shots.
And look how active he's staying right here, not allowing Johnson anything, and catches a big shot right there. And a body shot as Celso Silva welcoming anything from Jonathan Johnson as he's having his way with the red corner. Catches with another jab as Celso Silva connecting on just about every shot. There's a right left, striking. And down goes Johnson. This combination might do it.
This could be the end.
Johnson trying to push him off. He's got a minute to go against the clock as Celso Silva.
If I'm Silva here, I'm raining huge damage or I'm making him get up. He is hurt. Yep, make him get up and then put the pressure right back on him.
You don't want to get to the ground because the stand-up has been what has gotten Celso Silva to this point now. And Celso again with the jab. That's working better than anything I've seen all night long.
Absolutely. This is beautiful striking.
And trying to mix in some kicks to keep Johnson honest. Catches him with another jab, gets him right against the cage.
Now, you don't want to give him time to recover here. I mean, you are substantially ahead. You had your opponent battered. He had dropped down.
And Silva taunting him a bit now as he knows he's got him exactly where he wants him. As Celso Silva catches him with another combination. The clock, the only thing that can save Jonathan Johnson at this point. 20 seconds to go. As Celso Silva looks to secure the victory, unfortunately for him, it won't be the championship. As Johnson going to try to take down.
Beautiful takedown. He's onto his back. Nope.
And a wonderful judo
side
throw
control.
into side control. But James, that's not going to be enough as the clock about to run out.
So the question is it a 3 or a 5 round fight? A little bit of momentum carrying into rounds 4 can be a big deal if that's not the end.
And Celso Silva.
That's got to be the end. I don't see the corners. That's the end.
Yeah, Celso Silva. You saw a motion for the championship. Unfortunately, I believe a lot of our fans in attendance here at the Gary South Shore Railcat Stadium probably unaware that Celso Silva ineligible for that championship. But I'll tell you what, tonight, we've seen some incredible performances thus far. We've seen finishes in 7 seconds. But from bell to bell, beginning to end, Celso Silva, absolutely textbook.
Hands down, best performance of the night. And I'm telling you what, a lot of times a fighter misses weight, they get in their head, they underperform in the fight. That was not the case here. Celso Silva came to put on an incredible display. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a man you will see at the high level.
Certainly a professional career appears to be on the horizon for Celso Silva. Will he attempt to win some amateur gold before all is said and done? We'll find out, as I'm sure he'll make a decision sometime in the very near future. As you see, the head honcho here of the AFL, Jesse Nunez, congratulating Celso Silva on the victory. Likely victory.
If I'm his coach, I know for a fact my athlete is ready to turn pro on a skill level. I would need to know, can we make weight? We can't risk, missing weight in a pro debut.
No.
Absolutely. But if we can make weight, it's probably time.
And we'll see if it's time for this victory as Raj Nathan will make it official.
Presenting your winner by unanimous decision, 30-26, Celso Short Time Silva!
So 30-26 across the board, dominated by Celso Silva. Of course, Jonathan Lil Dirty Johnson will go back to the drawing board, certainly has a lot to work with, a high-level, still top contender for the Amateur Flyweight Championship, but Celso Silva really separated himself from the rest tonight. So, fight fans, that's going to do it for the amateur side of the card and part 1 of Steel City Showdown 3. We saw some great action from these up-and-coming amateur fighters from right here in the Midwest region. We started the night off with an amazing display of judo from Matt Judo Mackenzie Stiller, as she finished off Stephanie Canfield in round number 1 with an amazing judo toss into a submission. Then, a 3-round battle between Marine Corps veteran and up-and-coming flyweight prospect Marco McDonald and a very game competitor from St. Louis in the form of Jerry Steps III. The fight went to decision, and by the narrowest of margins, McDonald was able to take home a split decision victory. Then a back-and-forth battle between the young phenom, Tremel Sweet Tea Arrington and Wesley the Messenger Meadows, ending with a controversial decision favoring Arrington as he looks to climb to the top of the bantamweight rankings and compete for a championship sometime very soon. Next, we went back to the ladies, and boy did they deliver, as Lena Belladonna Krishnan took on Taekwondo prodigy Brianna Kristen in the women's strawweight division. Lena's ground and pound proved too tough for Kristen to handle, and the Belladonna took home the finish. Then, we capped the night off with the men's flyweight amateur title, where Celso Silva had a dominating performance against J.J. Little Dirty Johnson. Make sure to catch part 2 of Steel City Showdown 3, where we will feature the pro side of the card. My play-by-play partner, James Gray, and the entire Elite Fight Night crew. I am Blake Chadwick, signing off from the Gary South Shore Railcat Stadium, and we'll see you next time in the fights, here at Elite Fight Night.